Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle video tutorial on Photoshop and how to add a photo to a vector shape. I'm going to use a pattern approach. So let's just go to an image. Just got a very basic image here. I can define that as a pattern, the whole thing. Simply just go to Edit and down to Define Pattern. Give it a name and click OK. Also, I can define a particular part of the image, maybe the face. So I'm just going to go over here to the rectangular marquee tool, over in the tools, and click there and just drag down. At a certain point, release. And once you've done that, you can just go up to Edit and Define Pattern. Click OK. Now you can define maybe a narrow strip if you wish as well. So Edit and Define Pattern. So once you've actually defined it as a pattern, well, you can use it. So just go over here, and I'm just going to remove these ones now. Just get rid of those. You can use any shape. Circles, custom shapes, rectangles, etc. Ones shapes you've created. So I'm just going to quickly go and select a circle. Something very basic. Make certain it's a shape. So just go up here, shape, pass, and pixels. Shape is the one you want. And I'm also going to start with a solid colour. So I'm just going to select that and just create that circle. Now it's a vector shape, can be any size. Now obviously the photo could be small, could be big, and you can vary the scale of the photo that's going to be included here. Now just go up here to the fill and click there. And you've got solid colours, you've got gradients, and also you've got patterns, and that's just what you defined it as. So it's a pattern preset. So you can run, and these obviously ones that I created earlier. And you've got, there's the pattern. Also what you can do, you can change the scale. Simply just go there, set it to 200. Or maybe change the angle, maybe make it 45 degrees so it just tilts it. Perfectly reasonable as well. Now once you close that, you can of course modify the shape. You can move it around, but you can also, you suddenly think, you know what, I want to change it. I want to change the position. Well, you can do it in a number of ways. Simply just go to a layer and then down to a layer content options. And that will bring up this little panel. And again, you can change the actual pattern you want to use, but you can also change the scale, but you can also move it. So you can move it around. You can turn around and say, you know what, I don't want 200, I want 170, say. So you can just move that and position it like that and click OK. What you can also do, you can go over here to the layers and you can double click that and that will bring up this pattern fill and you can do exactly the same. Just move it around, again, change the angle, change the scale. So 150, say, and just move that there. Click OK. And also what you can do, you can duplicate this design, also resize it. Simply just go over here, select the move tool and resize it. You'll need the show transform controls to be on so you can resize it simply like there from there. You just drag, move that around, resize it there. Also you can hold down the shift and you can resize it like that. Just move that around. Obviously you don't want that because of course you lose the image. But you can always resize the image. So once you've done all your rest, you can just, yes, click there. And now you can just quickly go and change it again. So double click, bring up the pattern fill and just move that around. Click OK. Also what you can do, patterns. Just go to the patterns panel and you can select a pattern here. So just click, just run through and select pattern. So you can run through a few of them. Maybe again, you don't want that position. Well, you can reposition it again. So layers, double click, and it brings that up and you can then just move it around. Change the scale again, maybe make it 200. Click OK. Also what you can do, you can add various effects to it. So go to layer and there's the layer style. So you've got bevels, strokes, inner shadows. I'm just going to go for say drop shadow. Select drop shadow and you can see a quick drop shadow. Also, there's an option here for pattern overlay. If you haven't got that, so pattern overlay here, if you haven't got it, just go down to the effects down the bottom. It's a little option there and then click and you'll see you've got all these options here and you will have pattern overlay. Select that and it will appear there. What you can then do is with pattern overlay, you've got exactly the same. And you can move that around. And also what you can do, you can change the opacity. You can also change the blending modes as well. So you can just go over here and blends really great for creating all kinds of unusual difference, etc. However, I'm not going to use that. So deselect it. If you don't want the pattern overlay, you can very quickly deselect it by there. And now you've got back to what you had before. Click OK. Also, you can duplicate this design. So you just simply hold down the Alt or Option key and just drag and drag again. So you end up with multiple copies of this and they're independent. So that one is different from that one, different from that one. And you just move that around. And again, once you define the size of your vector shape, you can double click on this, bring up the panel there and again move that around so you can just reposition it there and rescale it as well. Just maybe go for 170 instead. Click OK. Also, of course, you don't need to keep it just as a circle. What you can do, you can just go over here, maybe use the direct selection tool. You can find that in the tools and then you'll see you've got these points around there and you can just simply select one of those and just move that. Come up with a little message saying operation will turn a live shape into a regular shape. Do you want to continue? Yes. So yes. So you've got your shape there and you can of course reposition it, modify it in numerous ways. Once you've done that, you can then of course move it and you can then duplicate that design as well and maybe apply effects and much more. So you can always go to filter and maybe blur, etc. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always have new tutorials all the time. Any comments, please add below, always great. Also a like or dislike again below. It's always wonderful to sort of find out if I'm doing things right, doing things wrong. Thank you much.